Introduction. And now let's just get straight into replay review. Too tired, too late to really be thinking about how to do anything else right now. Here we have 41 versus 40. He's unbranded. He's going first. My hand would have been great for going first. We have Diabellstar and Griffoh. That plays through like at least one hand drop. I haven't counted. But they are unbranded. They have opened some of the god cards. They have Fallen of White, Cartesia, Forbidden, Crown, Fallen, Kit. Immediately you know this is bad for me, right? White, 7 interruptions. Cartesia, 25 interruptions. Crown. I don't know what Crown does. I've never read the card in my life. Been too long. Every time someone tells me, oh, you just can't do anything with the card, I'm like, that sounds about right. And Virtuous, which means you can also get Retribution in his end phase. Oh my gosh, just so many interruptions. But here, we do have Fua. Fua does stop a lot of what's going on here. And we have Diabellstar Skull Archfiend. So we might get somewhere. So immediately they start off their turn. Activate White. Send for cost Albion. Pretty good for me because I can tell they're probably not a Mercurier, right? Because if they're sending Albion while they already have Virtuous in hand, it's like, why don't we just go for a Mercurier line? Because theoretically, we always get back to Dogma anyways. I don't know. This effect is summon. We Fua here. He's forced to give us a draw. It's interesting that he doesn't go for Dogmatica Ecclesia, but as soon as he does this, we know that there's a Virtuous in hand, right? Because if he had Dogmatica Ecclesia, which he does, he's playing 41 cards. There's just absolutely no way they don't, right? They would just go for that and add Virtuous there instead. But here, they just make Incredible Ecclesia, which is just an interruption, right? Just goes into Albaz. Drawn to Droll. Such a great card to see in my hand. I think, wow. When I look at this Droll in my hand, all I think is, this Droll and Lockbird looks a lot like, a really nice copy of Relinquished Anima, just right here, right? I mean, what if they play a card into this zone so I can Anima it? They never do, but, it's always a good thing to consider in the back of your mind. The Droll and Lockbird in the random matchup, that's just Relinquished Animal, right? Same card. We'll just go back into the game. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Cartesia to special. Set 2. Albion. Effect to go set. Opening. So here I'm thinking, Albion instead Retribution. But he also doesn't have another fusion monster in his graveyard right now, right? So maybe it's that. But also maybe this second set I was thinking was Retribution. So I play around it a lot during this turn. We draw Wanted, which is really unfortunate, right? I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, Wanted is a fantastic card. But look at this. We have one push. We have Diabellstar Send Archfiend. And this is like 5 random interruptions. It's crazy. I think my opponent, does misplay. I think they don't play correctly into my cards, as you'll see in a second. But at the end of the day, that's one of the greatest strengths of cards that have the line of text unaffected on them, because people don't know how to interact with unaffected cards. Diabellstar Send Archfiend. Archfiend 1, send for cost. Diabellstar 2, set. Crown 3 on the Diabellstar. Oh no. Tragic. Horrible. A very good thing to note that I definitely knew. I was playing a mind game with him here, right? This does resolve. Oops. I do forget to resolve Archfiend here. It doesn't matter. We're just going to add Blackluster Soldier in about 3 seconds. But mind game I'm playing here, he thinks that I don't know that I can't make Dark Magician of... that I can make D-Mod using Diabellstar the Black Witch, because it's a Crown monster. Crown says cannot be used as material for a fusion summon, but it can still be used as a fusion material for a special summon. Ridiculous, insane ruling. So Albaletta this rule. But in reality, I'm not doing it, because if I make D-Mod here, he makes Mirror Jade, and I can't do anything about that. At least I'm telling myself that post-fact. I also just didn't know that. But So we pretend like I added off of Archfiend, like a reasonable human being. Nothing changes. He says, think before spell. See? He didn't think I was going to spell immediately. He tried to use that to his advantage. I appreciate that. I think that's cool. Yeah. So we do just send Diabellstar Skull Archfiend here. One, I want the Skull Archfiend in graveyard. This card is the same value in the graveyard as it is in my hand, functionally, right? In my hand, I target 3 in the graveyard, 3 branded cards that provide interaction, and I shuffle them back. In the graveyard, it does the same thing, so, it doesn't really matter. Add back the Ritual, since we already have a card that plays with it. Goes for Virtuous here, which I think is fair. Otherwise, I can make D-Mod. Anyhow, that's one interruption forced out. Now I know this isn't Retribution, which means I just don't have to play careful anymore. Ritual of Light and Darkness can get us into Blackluster, and Blackluster can just do everything here. I don't know why I said fat thing. I had one line of play to do, by the way. Try and hit Cartesia here just because I want to force him to use it. Click, 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 click. Opening for Quem. At this point, he's just thinking about getting as many things on the field as possible, right? Quem, dump Kid, Kid get something back. Sorry, Quem discarding Kid using for the opening, you know, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, or Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, it doesn't really matter. Then he still has the Ecclesia, he has this, he has Rinrum Engrave. It's a lot. It's a lot. But at this point, I'm also chilling, right? To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't realize he sent Sword here. I was checked out at the time. That will come up later. But at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we do know Ecclesia, we do know this, and we do know Rinbrum for Fallen of Albaz. I think I'm going to have to deal with his Ecclesia no matter what. If I battle over it, what's going to happen is he's just going to go Rinbrum for Fallen of Albaz. And I just don't want to commit to a play while he still has Quem, while he still has Confounder, right? So I think what we can do, this is main phase only, we go battle phase, right? He doesn't want to commit it to a Mirror Jade because a Mirror Jade does nothing here. This is Confounder can make a couple other things, but that's the main one. I don't think they're playing Invoked Eon. That sounds crazy. And he can't do anything with Ecclesia here. So we're just going to go to battle phase. We're just going to hit over two things, right? We're going to accept that we can't win this turn to not play into his follow-up, and then we'll just kill him on the crackback. 1 into this. 2 to gain attack. It was technically optimal to go for Quem and then hit Confounder next, but what I'm doing here is called stalling for time. When I hit Confounder, I hadn't yet decided whether or not I wanted to hit over Ecclesia, so I was like, what if I hit over one card first? You know, the 1500 damage is meaningless, right? Ultimately, it means nothing. So what if I use that time to think more? And I do this in in-person tournaments a lot. Make one play so I can think about another. I do hit Ecclesia here. Just because Quem doesn't do anything either. At least this way, he's forced to fall into Ecclesia, but to be perfectly honest with you, at this point in time, it doesn't matter. At this point, Scholar's Fiend can do a little targeting so that we can, what do you call it? We can put back, force out a Rinbrum here, so we know that Rinbrum Fallen of Albaz Ecclesia is on the field. It is also at this point that I realize that he has no cards in hand, so, you know, concerns are meaningless, but always think about your plays. I don't think they should have gotten rid of all of their cards to do opening. What I've been thinking about this whole time is Sword, add back a card, but there are no banished cards currently, so it also didn't matter in that sense. And Rinbrum, put these all back. I'm trying to put Black Chaos back because I had Mind Shuffle and I just want it back in rotation. So, to be perfectly clear, this was not a fantastically clean game for me, right? There are things I could have done better. I could have realized that he didn't have a card in hand sooner, but, you know, it's always good to reflect upon mistakes like these, right? Where did I go wrong? And I didn't lose this game, but I still think I made wrong plays. I think one of the wrong plays I make is about to happen in a second. Another one of the wrong plays is thinking that his Ecclesia was live, so I played as I did. Otherwise, I would have hit over Quem. But again, in this specific spot, it doesn't matter, but it's always good to know. Anima, take the Quem just because we can remove a card from the field. Very nice. Make Dark. Okay, to be perfectly honest with you, right here I was thinking I can Dark, take their Spellcaster level 8 to make Demod. And then I sat down and I thought, wait, I can just use Diabellstar. You know, big rulings question. Rulings you need to know, right? You can make this using a crown monster. Insane ruling. Very good ruling to know. Soul's Dump Black Chaos, just in case I want to Firewall at it back later. Take that. Boop. Protect Code. Firewall. Protect Code summon back. Firewall add back. At this point, we're just trying to get as many interruptions on the field as possible. You know. They should have follow-up in terms of, like, Ecclesia. If that's still in the graveyard. I don't actually know where the Ecclesia went. You know what? I think I might have missed it. But when the Ecclesia goes to graveyard follow-up, they have the Virtuous in hand. That's known follow-up. Oh, I shuffled it back. Yeah. And we'll see. Black Chaos just gets us to a Mind Shuffle here, which is very nice. This will get us to a card. I was thinking we could go for a Virtuous line here, but also against Branded, Virtuous doesn't really do anything. So better line here is just send this guy so that I can special summon a Black Chaos off my Mind Shuffle, add for the other Black Chaos, and then I can just banish 2 for free because I kind of want to keep BLS on field. BLS is a really, really, really irritating card for Branded to out, and just keeping it on field gets you a lot of value sometimes. So realistically here we do make a mistake. We should have shuffled back to Sword earlier off of the Skull. That way he doesn't get plus off of this. But again, at some point your misplays don't matter, but you should definitely think about them. Because now, because Sword is in there, we just have to make an SP here. There's not really 2 great things to bring back with the Quartet here, because we didn't go through Diabellstar, or our Diabellstars are banished. So just make SP is fine. It is very, very lucky for me that his draw for turn was Fallen of Virtuous, right? Because at this point, what does he do? He goes Sword, grab back this, then what, right? There's just not much to be done. And that's why I'm feeling pretty confident here. I can also Mind Shuffle to grab the Black Chaos to hand, and he will probably Virtuous check it. But if he Virtuous checks it, he just has White Albaz to kill me, and I just don't think he can. I can SP away a body so he can't Synchro Summon. And then once it gets back to my turn, I have follow-up, right? I have Zena, I have Skull, I have Ritual, I have, well, Want is not follow-up. So, well, at this point, I'm feeling fairly confident. Like, anything aside from this being, like, Super Poly or Brafu, you know, we're pretty good. Fallen of White. Is that this point, I believe, that I decided to change Mind Shuffle? Or is it SP and then Mind Shuffle? That's something like that. Again, there's just not, like, especially since he's Santa Ecclesia, like, what are we intended to do here? Go over SP. We could have SP banished earlier, but again, just, it is hard to interact with plays that don't matter, if that makes sense. Make Sword Souls. Sword Souls can grab a normal summon or it can grab Cartesia. Yeah. Cartesia to special itself. Sorry, Sword Souls to pop. Chain Mind Shuffle. Chain Virtuous on the Mind Shuffle. They actually get pretty far here. What did Virtuous send? Virtuous sent Albion. Okay. Because Cartesia can special itself. They can make another Albion. They're out of Albions. They can make Mirror directly here. They can make Granquignal to send another card. You know, send Titanic Lad. Ooh. Titanic Land's kind of awkward since the Quem is gone, but you know. Dogma works too, just to get rid of some of the follow-up I have. So it's at this point that I'm thinking a little bit, right? I'm thinking, okay, he has all this follow-up, right? He has Cartesia, Incredible Ecclesia, he has a set Virtuous. The Virtuous is just the Virtuous, and the Dogma is just the Dogma, right? There's no more Rinbrum, so there's nothing more I have to be concerned about. The only thing I was concerned about is, okay, this is not technically unaffected right now. So if he Virtuouses me in the draw step, right, what I can do is I can go Zena, add back a Mind Shuffle, and then Zena, add back Black Chaos, place the Mind Shuffle from my graveyard, and then play a little bit. But also, it is less value if he just Virtuouses my Black Chaos. Like, if he Virtuouses my Black Chaos, I am a little bit annoyed, right? I didn't get to use its effect. So I'm thinking probably draw phase is just Virtuous. This is not a good draw, but it's fine. It's okay. Zena, add back Black Chaos. He does let me go to main phase, at which point, on Ignition Priority, main phase priority, I will just Black Chaos. It's a really fantastic play here. Because now this forces out the Virtuous. Again, this is like one of the weird things. Why did we send the Dogma, right? I guess I could have banished the Dogma, so it's higher value to get rid of the Dogma. But also at the same time, this is affected. I don't have a Ritual, so we could just get rid of this. Beyond this point, though, it is trivially easy for me to set up lethal, right? Skull effect, Skull, send Ritual, grab Black Chaos, Ritual, grab itself back. I know the 2 cards in hand. I know everything they have by now, so it just doesn't matter. Ritual, Light and Darkness, summon, add back. This is so comedically over lethal at this point, it just doesn't matter. Rinbrum somehow got back in graveyard. I don't remember how. I think they shuffled it back off of the, Ecclesia, and then they sent it off of Virtuous, but again, the game states where it just doesn't matter. Rinbrum target OG is very, very incorrect, right? Because they can't fuse here. I would rather Rinbrum target Fallen to at least get bodies on the field, but, Oh, they confused with Skull Archfiend. My bad. So they can make a Mirror Jade that's getting banished face down. Right? Because no matter what they make here, Black Chaos just banishes it, and then they know I have Wanted, so does it really matter? Dogma is a tiny bit annoying just because it's unaffected, but I mean... Again, there are game states where it is. Okay, so again, here we do an illegal play. We bounce Black Chaos or Black Chaos. You can't do that. It's different name from your hand. Don't do that. Does not matter in this game state at all. I don't use its Spanish effect, if I remember correctly. But, I believe I still have this Spanish effect, so it's fine. 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 The illegal plays mean nothing. At this point, I can just fast forward it. It's just going to be Diabellstar, grab Deception tribute a card, grab Hollow Azamina. At this point, we're just trying to get to access code so we can beat over Dogma, and I think it will be pretty trivially easy to do so. Wanted, draw a card, normal droll. My favorite card to normal, Celine, bring back a spellcaster. Hollowed, put back Musilago, Mapa, move Rusilago, Bata, making Ilya Sylvia, access code gain 3k, pop, 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 pop. That is game. Well over lethal. And after a little bit of misplaying from my opponent, a little bit of misplaying from me, we do make it to a game 2. We broke full branded board with basically 2 pushes, if you count the Skull Archfiend, which is impressive. Now going into game 2, my opponent has High Spirit, Troll and Lockboard, Fallen and White, Nadir and Super Poly. I have Fua, Griffoh, and Diabellstar. I have the turn 0. This is Hollysu 2 attributes and a Fuelos. Oh my gosh. Devastating for most people. We're just going to do classic shenanigans, which is I Fua this. What I'm thinking here is I probably hold Griffoh for end phase, right? Because if he has a Fallen in his hand, he's going to set the Fallen, right? And at end of main, right, he won't have the opportunity to have any more Fallens. His one Fallen will be set. He's going to try and do something with the other Fallen, but that doesn't matter, right? He's going to try and get another Fallen during the end phase, but at that point, he won't have anything. So I'm just chilling. I'm waiting for end of main here. I think the plan for them is to go Dogma at a Virtuous pop something on their field so that they can bring back the Cartesia. But, I think that's a good plan. You send the Albion. Albion can get you a Retribution as well. Or just the second Virtuous. I didn't realize they didn't have a Virtuous. And then we have Super Poly, High Spirits, Droll, bunch of cards. At that point, we're pretty good. But for me, I'm hitting them with the end of main Mind Shuffle. And we get to do the very clever thing here, which is discard Diabellstar. Diabellstar effect, discard the Skull. So now we have a body to do an actual turn 0 play. It is really fantastic. Skull sent for cost, chain link 2 Diabellstar to set. Wanted because we already have the Deception in hand. Now, any play they make in the end phase, I can just tag out and banish one of their back row or one of their frontliners. It's also great here because I have Black Chaos, which means if they try and target out the BLS, we can just tag it out into Black Chaos, which is ridiculous, stupid. This is a very good deck. We just outplay here because I don't want to snipe a back row. That seems bad. These 2 cards are kind of, how do you say it, redundant in and of themselves, right? They're pretty easy to get back to, right? If I try and get rid of Fallen, if I try and get rid of Fallen, they'll just Ecclesia for another Fallen. If I try and get rid of Ecclesia, they'll just summon back Cartesia off of Quem and then make a fusion anyways. So might as well just get rid of the high value card. And they know it too, which is why they pop the Quem. I tag out here just so start of my turn. I can Black Chaos them, which is, again, ridiculous value. And then at this point, it's just Fallen. Droll does hurt here. Droll is a very, very good card against me. So, it's time to think here. Activate Wanted. Grab the 3rd Diabellstar. Ooh. Go main 1. effect to banish immediately, which is really good for me because what is Virtuous doing, right? Virtuous maybe sends a Rinbrum, high value. I guess High Spirits is technically high value, but we're just banishing 2 cards for free here. Discard, Skull Arch, Fiend Chain Link 1. You know, the great thing is I think my opponent is blind and didn't realize they could draw here. I have no idea why we didn't draw. I think there's also a distinct possibility that they are trying to play without drawing Lockbird just because at this point they have lost the game, right? It doesn't matter what happens past this point. They could draw me right there for all it matters. I believe I could still assemble lethal with just Diabellstar, or if I had any normal summon in hand, it would do it as well. Skull Arch Fiend and Diabellstar is just too powerful of a combo. I can also Ritual of Light and Darkness, add back the Griffoh, so it just doesn't matter. If they do draw me there, though, it's a little bit awkward, but I do believe I can win the game from there. However, I think they're just letting me play for fun, which is, you know, sure. Yeah, and at this point I have like 10 cards in hand. Mind Shuffle's effect is still alive. I think they just forgot about draw, to be completely honest. And at the end of the day, what was draw going to do there, right? If they drawed me, right, what we can do is, let me get out the whiteboard for this. We can go Ritual of Light and Darkness, add back the Griffoh, right? Griffoh normal to here, make an Anima. Special summon Diabellstar, it'll be this instead of this. I guess the one big thing is that the Ecclesia on their field would still be live for Fallen, right? Which is a little bit rough. It's a little bit worrisome. But yeah, maybe they can win off of that, right? But if they ever activate an effect, we just Mind Shuffle, tag out into this BLS. So even if they activate an Ecclesia, right, we can just tag out into BLS. Yeah, we can tag out our Diabellstar into BLS so they don't have an effective summon off of it. And at that point, BLS plus this is probably just game on its own, right? Just attack for 45. Attack for 3k, that's 75. I just need 500 damage off of anything. Then we can also just link climb here because we have this body and also the skull body and graveyard. You can do basically anything at this point. So while the draw did matter a lot in terms of how fast I was able to kill them, in the grand scheme of things, it did not matter at all. So at the end of the day, there's your first replay. We see, you know, the greatest deck of all time, Azamina RoLaD, taking it over probably the second greatest deck of all time, Branded. You know, cool tune, that's a deck. The only problem, this is probably ranked 2 deck, which is Branded, and ranked 3 deck, Azamina RoLaD specifically on this field. And I think it's a very interesting replay to analyze and look at, especially as an example of what it feels like to play against RoLaD, perhaps with not so much knowledge, matchup knowledge. That's about it. See ya.